We'd like to think most celebrities are at least halfway decent to their legions of adoring fans. Sure, they can't be super friendly all the time. They have lives too, and it must be pretty stressful to constantly be approached by strangers. But even so, there are quite a few stars out there known for treating their fans with the care and respect they deserve. But this video isn't about any of those folks. Today, we're going to discuss a few celebs that have earned nasty reputations for being extremely rude, short-tempered, and downright mean to their fans and colleagues. Chevy Chase. Comedian Rob Huebel revealed to Seth Meyers on Late Night that Chevy Chase once accosted him the first time they met. Huebel was attending an event put on by the UCB Theater in New York on the evening Chase was scheduled to guest perform alongside the group there. Huebel, being a fan of Chase's work, decided he wanted to introduce himself to his idol before the show started. But when he approached him and told him he was a big fan, Chase apparently lost his nerve and slapped Huebel across the face so hard, Huebel said he saw red. Apparently, Chase slapped the poor guy in some kind of attempt at being funny. He was trying to show Huebel how rude it was for him to interrupt him while he was talking to someone else. But even though the general reaction by everyone around seemed to be what Chase had done wasn't very cool, Huebel was apparently as thrilled as could be to get slapped by his hero. But even though Huebel took it in stride, not everyone has been so amused by Chase's antics. He's known for being one of the most difficult actors to work with. The core issue most people bring up is his arrogance. At the peak of his career, he was able to pull in at least $7 million per film. And inevitably, that success went to his head. According to Bill Murray, Chase's infamous arch-enemy, Chevy is a victim of his own success. Murray feels like he never recovered from having his ego fed at the height of his career. And in 2012, Chase seemed to agree with this assessment when he told Entertainment Weekly he wasn't prepared for fame and he didn't handle it very well. Chase says that when he was a young, up-and-coming hot star, he had what he calls unbelievable arrogance. But as time went on, he claims some of his narcissism and arrogance has diminished. But even though he tries to assert he's since recovered from his nasty streak, just ask his Community co-stars what it was like working with him, and you'll hear nothing but horror stories. Pierce Brosnan. While appearing on The Late Late Show with James Corden for a segment called Spill Your Guts or Fill Your Guts, a Truth or Dare Fear Factor-inspired game, Khloe Kardashian asked Corden to name a celebrity who was rude to him at a party. Corden, unwilling to take a sip of bird saliva to get out of having to answer the question, chose instead to spill his guts by recounting a time he had a less than stellar run-in with a star. Corden hesitated for a moment before muttering that perhaps the person he was thinking of wasn't rude in general, but just simply rude in a singular moment. He told a story about a time that James Bond actor Pierce Brosnan pushed him out of the way while he and his wife were out seeing a U2 concert. Kardashian suggested maybe Brosnan was just drunk, but Corden quipped quickly back that maybe he's just a bit effing rude. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to Facts Verse for more, and stick around for more about some mean celebrities. Sandra Bullock. Bullock might have portrayed a compassionate mother in The Blind Side, but that doesn't necessarily mean she's actually kind in real life. The actress, who once was married to neo-Nazi supporter Jesse James, is said to be one of the crueler people in Hollywood, and she refuses to make time for fans. Star Magazine ran a story about the Oscar-winning star a few years ago that involved a fan in a wheelchair approaching her for an autograph. According to the disabled veteran's wife, Denise Cotis, Bullock covered her face and yelled at the poor guy. While she could have simply explained that she was feeling a bit overwhelmed at the time, or politely declined to give him an autograph on some other grounds, she ended up getting into a full-on screaming match with him. Jerry Seinfeld. So as it turns out, Jerry Seinfeld is definitely not a hugger, and apparently he has no clue who the pop star Kesha is. In 2017, a video emerged of Seinfeld repeatedly rejecting a request for a hug from Kesha. Seinfeld was giving a red carpet interview for the David Lynch Foundation at the Kennedy Center in D.C. when Kesha swooped in and told the star that she loved him so much. The bemused-looking comedian then awkwardly thanked her for the compliment. Then Kesha asked him for a hug and received a very emphatic no thanks. She pleaded somewhat pathetically, to which Seinfeld doubled down with a string of no's. After she left, Seinfeld quipped he had no idea who she was. That's when he was told that it was Kesha. With a bit of a roll of his eyes, Seinfeld then said he wished her the best. Ellen DeGeneres. Not long ago, Ellen was considered the most popular talk show host in America. But all that changed in 2020 when some of DeGeneres' staffers came forward painting a very different picture of who she is when the cameras aren't rolling. According to reports, Ellen is a lot less chipper in person and contributes to what's been called a toxic work environment. The news has inspired some viewers to rewatch old episodes of her show in a whole new light. In retrospect, Ellen was always a little bit rude to her audience, even though they didn't really notice it. Whenever you receive a gift, it's best to say thank you and be appreciative of the giver's intentions, even if the gift isn't the most amazing in the world. Well, a few years back, Ellen received a painting from a fan featuring a portrait of her and her wife, Portia de Rossi. The painting was titled Ellen and Portia No. 10, and Ellen immediately mocked the fact that it took the artist 10 tries before he finally got it right. She then proceeded to say that the two people in the painting looked more like Kelly Ripa and Ryan Seacrest, and added she might give it to them instead. If that wasn't enough, DeGeneres continued to insult the artist by stating how scary the image was, claiming that no matter where you stand in the room, her and Portia's chins seemed to follow you. On another occasion, from an episode of The Ellen Show, aired in 2019, DeGeneres nosily rifled through a guest's bag while questioning its contents. When stumbling upon the woman's money, Ellen insultingly asked if this was all the cash she had at the time, before scoffing that she obviously wasn't rich. Ellen then handed the lady $1,000, but it's questionable whether it was worth being made fun of on live television. On yet another occasion, Ellen publicly called someone out for taking more free souvenirs than she was instructed to, while airing a clip of the incident caught on a hidden camera. The woman defended her actions by saying she took extra for her sister, who wasn't able to make it, but Ellen accusingly told her there were a lot of people's sisters who couldn't come. And finally, we have a recurring segment where Ellen would set up an idiot test for her audience members, where she'd put their knowledge to the test with trivia questions. Anyone who successfully answered would get to stay in their seats, while fans who answered incorrectly were relocated to a designated idiot section where they'd have to wear demeaning dunce caps. Rachael Ray. From celebrity chefs to servers at restaurants that she's gone to, there's no shortage of people who think Rachael Ray is mean. Martha Stewart, Giada De Laurentiis, Emeril Lagasse, and even the late Anthony Bourdain have all also publicly confirmed their dislike of the talk show host. Not only that, but Ray is also claimed to be one of the worst tippers in Hollywood. There was the time that Ray's aunt, Geraldine Dominica Scuderi, died after accidentally locking herself out of Ray's mom's house and being overtaken by the freezing cold. But instead of attending the poor woman's funeral, Ray was too busy tweeting about cats, recipes, and television shows. Russell Crowe. Last but not least, we have a star who's been repeatedly called out for being insensitive and arrogant, but this incident might take the cake. When making a guest appearance on The Late Late Show in 2015, Crowe berated the audience for not clapping the way he wanted them to. He was asked by Ryan Tubridy to give the studio something that everyone could tap their toes to while giving an impromptu performance on the set's balcony. Crowe joined the house band for a rendition of the Johnny Cash song Folsom Prison, but just a few lines into the classic, he stopped to shout at the audience. He proceeded to yell that if they couldn't clap in time, they should just shut up. Now it's time to hear from you. Can you think of some other celebrities who are known for being particularly rude? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.